Hello and welcome to this Power BI tutorial. We are continuing our tutorial series, and in this tutorial we are going to work with the bar visual. Now bar visual is commonly known as in the Power BI world as clustered bar or clustered column chart. So we are going to use clustered column chart here. The properties are going to remain just horizontal and vertical display. So let's click on that, add it to this one. Now enlarge it. Let's occupy the full space because this is the only thing right now we want to cover. Now the first thing which we are going to do is we are going to drag something on its axis, and brand is the one which we are going to drag on the axis. Now once we drag the brand, it is not going to show anything because there is no value attached to the y-axis. So now to get the values, let's go ahead and drag sales out here. Now once we drag sales, we start seeing a lot of values out here, and then we would like to scroll and see the values till the end if you like, or maybe we don't want to see that many values. So the first thing which we can do is we can go to the brand, and in the brand we have this top end option, and in the top end we can go and say top, let's say 10, and based on what. So again I want this top end based on my sales only, nothing else, and then I can say apply. So I start seeing only top. Now we have pretty good data because in this data if you see that all our values, 10 values are comparable, but sometimes what happens, your second value just fall and third value some fall, and they start looking very small. So what to do in such cases? So in that case we go to this format one, and in the format we have this option under the y-axis which kind of scale type you want, and we can say logarithmic. So you see now they are looking much more equal. So this is only used when there is a sudden fall, and then we want it to still continue with that. Other than that, there is a start and there is an end, but we should only use start and end when we are working on some kind of a percentage value, and we are knowing even after applying the filter the range is going to remain same, because once we start putting the values in that range it will remain. So like say if I put a 9 million to 0 million to 9 million values are there, and if I put that range now, if I put let's say city filter, the range might be only 1 million. Now I will start seeing small bar, so the adjustment will go away. So that we don't want to do. There's another very important stuff out here is basically we can actually go ahead and color these labels. So conditional formatting, what we know into the data color, and there is a function sign out here. So default color is blue. I can click on that function sign, and let's say I want a we already shown you in the table visual color scale and rule base. Now we'll look at the field value. Now in the field value we go ahead and search for a measure color. I created a color measure. I go ahead and color brand, and then I'm going to choose this measure, and because it's a measure it's not asking me what aggregation and everything, and I click on it. So you start seeing Dell and Acer are green, and rest of this is still red. Why? So let's go and look at the color brand. So color brand is saying if the max item brand is in Acer, Dell and Acer, then green, else red. So this could be a major base, this could be a category base, this could be a combination of it. More and more complex options are available with this particular option, which is known as the major conditional formatting. Now here we are doing with this what we call with the major, and now these two are there, and now how do it decide? So this max is basically going to take a row context, and that's where in a major we can give a major or calculated column only. So we have to give some kind of function even on the categorical value, but because this row of display is belonging to brand, I am able to get brand as Dell, and that's where it is able to put the color. So you have to remember the row context is very important out here. Now let's go ahead and look some more properties. So we go to background, and you can see that background doesn't look so great because we have having a black background. So I'll just go and reduce the transparency so it's look much better. Now I'm able to see some background which is very similar to what we have, but these colors might not be most suitable right now based on the background color. So I'm just keeping some 65 50 65 percentage of transparency. Similarly, we have some properties like x-axis. You can change color, you can change text size. If I want to increase the text size, I can increase it. Maybe this is gray color, I would like a black color, white color. So I can do all those. I can change the font. Minimum category width is this much, maximum size is 25%, all those. I can reduce it, but right now because there is nothing, so it is not going to impact. There's a lot of data out here. Now y-axis, again we have positions like left, or we want it to on the right axis, so we want on this. And then again the color, we might want a white color here also, because right now we have made it a kind of a gray background on which white would look better. And then we can increase the font out here so it looks much better. Now display unit and everything we are going to keep auto right now. We are not going to play around much with that. And the data color we have already shown you. We are right now using the color which is basically conditional formatting color, so we can do it similarly. You have these functions available on the title. You can have a dynamic title, and you can have a dynamic font color for the title and dynamic backgrounds, all these. And then there are alignment property and everything you can use. Background we have already used. Borders and shadings are other things which you can use. And again, the header visual, you have few options. And then if you hide it, it will actually get hidden into the Power BI service mode. So now these are the property. Now let's look at very important thing now, which is what happened when we add another measure. So sales gross, and you immediately see the color grouping has gone, the conditional formatting has gone. Go back here, look at data color, there is no option now. Scroll, this is older version where you actually go here, you start seeing the dots. No, nothing there. Okay, remove it. Again it is there, so we know it's there, and again we go back, we see it. Okay, so very good. So we can't do it too much. What happens if we put the legend? What is the impact and what it does do? So it basically now it makes the so-called cluster, because previously it was bar. Now we have multiple bars now, one for each category, so we are able to see. And again you see the conditional formatting is not obeyed. So what happened to that? We go to colors and we see no conditional formatting. So with these two options we don't have any conditional formatting available. So can I drag two measures with when I have taken a legend? Let's try that out. And you see it's replacing, it's not adding it. So that is also not possible. So if you want legend, you have only one measure. If you want two measures, you cannot have legends. And both with the legends and two measures, you cannot have conditional formatting. Okay, so these are some limitations around it, but it's still very powerful chart. Go ahead and try it out. You have a lot of options to do formatting there, to set up your chart, change the colors. You can actually change the themes, and based on that all these colors can come. So play around with that. Let us know what else you want to see on this particular visual. Subscribe to this channel, press the bell icon so that you can get notification whenever we post a new video. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you.